Vasudevaya.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Narayanam Namaskritya
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Tato Jayamudiraye
ततो जयमुदीरये।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी.
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
Hare Krishna. Today we are going to cover this shloka, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, Text 40. Vrajam sutishthan padaikena व्रजं तिष्ठन् पदैकेन यथैवैकेन गच्छति यथैवैकेन गच्छति यथा तृणजलौ कैवं यथा तृणजलौ कैवं देहि कर्म गतिं गतः देहि कर्म गतिं गतः व्रजं तिष्ठन् पदैकेन यथैवैकेन गच्छति यथा तृण जलौकैवं देहि कर्म गतिं गतः. Please recite one by one, some of you.
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna Mataji.
वृजं तिष्ठन् पतैकेन यतैवैकेन गच्छति यथा तृणजलौकैवं देहि कर्म गतिं गतः। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
व्रजंस्तिष्ठान् पदायकेन यथैवैकेन गच्छति यथा तृणाजलौ कैवं देहि कर्मा गतिं गतः। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So synonyms, word to word translation. Vrajan, a person while traveling on the road. Tishthan, while standing. Padaekena, on one foot. Yatha, as. Eva, indeed. Ekena, by another foot. Gachati, goes. Yatha, as. Trinjalauka, a worm on a vegetable. Trinjalauka. Evam, in this way. Dehi, the living entity. Karma gatim, the reactions of fruitive activities. Gataha, undergoes. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. Translation: just as a person traveling on the road rests one foot on the ground and then lifts the other, or as a worm on a vegetable transfers itself to one leaf and then gives up the previous one, the conditioned soul takes shelter of another body and then gives up the one he had before. Please repeat after me. Just as a person
just as a
Just
person
as a person
traveling on the road
traveling
traveling
on the
on
road
the road
rests one foot
rests one foot
rests one foot
on the ground
on the
on the
ground
ground
and then lifts the other,
and then
and then
lift the
lifts the
other,
other,
or as a worm
or as a
or
worm
as a worm
on a vegetable,
on a
on a
vegetable,
vegetable,
transfers itself
transfers
transfers
itself
itself
to one leaf
to
to
one
one
leaf
leaf
and then gives up
and
and
then
then
gives up
gives up
the previous one.
the
the previous
previous
one.
one.
The conditioned soul
The
The
conditioned soul
conditioned soul
takes shelter of
takes shelter
takes
of
shelter of
another body
another
another
body
body
and then gives up
and then gives
and
up
then gives up
the one
the one
the one
he had before.
he
he
had
had
before.
before.
I will read the purport today. This is the process of the soul's transmigration from one body to another. At the time of death, according to his mental condition, the living being is carried by the subtle body, consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego, to another gross body. When higher authorities have decided what kind of gross body the living entity will have, he is forced to enter such a body, and thus he automatically gives up his previous body. When higher authorities have decided what kind of gross body the living entity will have, he is forced to enter such a body, and thus he automatically gives up his previous body. Dull minded persons who do not have the intelligence to understand this process of transmigration take for granted that when the gross body is finished, one's life is finished forever. Such persons have no brains with which to understand the process of transmigration. At the present moment, there is great opposition to the Hare Krishna movement, which is being called a brainwashing movement, but actually, the so called scientists, philosophers, and other leaders in the Western countries have no brains at all. The Hare Krishna movement is trying to elevate such foolish persons by enlightening their intelligence so that they will take advantage of the human body. Unfortunately, because of gross ignorance, they regard the Hare Krishna movement as a brainwashing movement. They do not know that without God consciousness, one is forced to continue transmigrating from one body to another. Because of their devilish brains, they will next be forced to accept an abominable life and practically never be able to liberate themselves from the conditional life of material existence. How this transmigration of the soul takes place is very clearly explained in this verse. Hare Krishna. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिस्वरूपदामोदर स्वामिनिति नामिने नमः सद्भक्तमनयः मणिपुरोद्भवाय च प्रभुपादलसद्वाणी प्रचारनिरताय ते नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Second, please. Please bless me so that I can speak on this esoteric subject matter. So Vasudev ji is actually trying to pacify Kamsa, and Vasudev is using logic after logic, and Vasudev is using Sam, Tam, and Bhed. Actually, whenever we have to pacify a conflicting persons, so there are four ways, four levels actually. First of all, we should try to pacify him with Sam. Then we should try to do Dam or Bhed. And if nothing is working out, then finally the Dand part. So Vasudev ji knew that it will be impossible to apply the fourth limb, namely the Dand, on this cruel, stupid, irreparable Kamsa. So Vasudev ji is using Sam and Bhed and Dam. What is the Dam part? Dam means you give reward. You say, if you do this, I will give you the reward. So what was a Dam? Vasudev ji will be later telling that if you are pacified now, I will be bringing my children to you one by one so that you can eliminate them. But now he's sticking to Sam and Bhed. What is a Bhed? Bhed is that uh, there are two kinds of Bhed actually. The Bhed which can be seen, the Pratyaksh, which can be seen, the results can be seen now. And second, the results are not seen now, but in the future, they will be seen. For example, Vasudevji is telling Kansa that if you kill Devaki, then what will happen? You will be like maligning your glory. You are so glorious. People will say that Kansa is such a glorious king. How can he be glorious? He killed a woman on the day of her marriage, and that to his cousin sister. So people will talk about you, and you will become infamous. People will start, you know, disrespecting you. And the unseen one is that in the next life, you'll go to hell. So in this way, Bheda should be applied. Bheda means you tell that person that if you don't do this, then what will happen? Sam is if you do this, then what will happen? Why you should not do that? Any conflict. So साम में भी बहुत पांच छह लिम्स होते हैं जिसमें गुण कीर्तन होता है. First of all, you try to glorify that person who you're trying to pacify. You have got so wonderful qualities. I could not have imagined anyone else other than you. Slowly, first of all, you try to glorify his good qualities, and slowly, you try to bring the subject matter so that he can be pacified in that. So Vasudevji is therefore using this logic now that you are such a glorious king, and people, you know, let me go through that. What is Vasudevji says? My dear brother-in-law, you are the pride of your family, the Bhoja dynasty, and great heroes praise your qualities. This is the Gun Kirtan. First of all, Gun Kirtan should be done. You are the pride of your family, the Bhoja dynasty, and the great heroes praise your qualities. This is called as Gun Kirtan, right? Then the second part is, let me share this actually with you. Uh, in this sloka, you see, sloka number 37, Vasudevji is saying, my dear brother-in-law Kamsa, my dear brother-in-law Kamsa. Okay. So, Kamsa, you are my brother-in-law. So, and then he says that I was having these qualities actually. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Mm, 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 mm. Give me a second, please. Anyways, so this is the first. He is he's doing the Gun Kirtan. Great heroes praise their qualities, and then he using the Sambandh. Sambandh is another. Sambandh is the another nuance of Psalm. That how can you kill your own sister? Yeah, I'm related to you. He's related to you. Yeah. How can you do that possibly? This is Sambandh. Gun Kirtan, Sambandh. So using various such tactics, Vasudevji is trying to pacify him. But Vasudevji is seeing that Kamsa will not be pacified so quickly. Then the Bhed part is there, I think, here, right? Yeah, somewhere Bhed part is there actually. Anyways, now Vasudevji is saying that this that Kamsa, you're unnecessarily trying to, you know, resort to such sinful activity, trying to kill your own sister when the death is actually imminent and immanent. That is imminent and immanent. That is imminent means कि death can come, death is certain. Death is certain. Certain means it has to come. We all have to leave the body. We all have to die, right? That is certain, right? कहते हैं ना मृत्यु जो अटल सत्य है. And second is death is immanent. Immanent means it can come at any time. We don't know. First of all, it is certain and it can come at any time. The next moment it can happen. So therefore, O Kansa, uh, the least we can do is actually not to resort to sinful activities to thwart death, because death cannot be thwarted. We cannot stop death. So first of all, it will be a foolish idea to do anything to stop death, right? We may run anywhere, even in Brahmaloka, but the claws of death are unavoidable. The death will grasp grasp us there. And on top of that, performing sinful activities so that the death can be checked, can be stopped, we can escape death, that is really grossly foolish and sinful. मृत्यु को रोकने के लिए अगर पाप करें, मृत्यु तो रोकी नहीं जा सकती है ना. मृत्यु को रोकने के लिए पाप करें तो that is also foolish. And first of all, number one thing is uh, that trying to check death, that is foolish, stupid idea. And then number two is trying to check death, using sinful activities, that is extremely foolish. And there is third thing also, dear devotees, that ignoring death. Oh, there is nothing called as death. I am Amar. That is also even grossly more foolish. Like like the rabbit. Suppose you have seen, I have seen on the channels, wildlife channel, when the rabbit is chased by a fox or any other predator, the rabbit runs. At one point of time, rabbit thinks, "Why am I unnecessarily running? There is no fox." What happens? The rabbit closes his eyes. रैबिट जो है अपनी आंखें बंद कर लेता है. And he sees, where is a fox? There is no fox. There is no danger. Unnecessarily, I am running and wasting my energy. So rabbit will close his eyes, but the fox will never will not close the eyes. Fox approaches and kills that stupid rabbit. Similarly, the death is immanent and imminent. It is coming day by day. It is coming closer and closer to us, closer and closer to us. So we cannot ignore it, neglect it, and at the same time, we cannot check it. But there is one thing that we can do, and Vasudevji is telling that the death means one really has to work on what is going to happen to him in the next life. One really must take care of the next life. That is what we should be doing in whatever time we have now. Just as a person, Vasudevji is giving two wonderful examples actually. To the two examples, when we walk, so how do we walk? We do not jump, right? Generally, when people walk, this one foot is on the ground while the other foot is in the air. So जब हम चलते हैं तो एक पाँव उठाते हैं, दूसरा पाँव जो है कहाँ रहता है, जमीन पे रहता है ना. तो उसी तरह से जो जीव है, first of all it acquires a body, then leaves the previous body. Now this is very important to understand. Though the senses and the mind, subtle body carries the atma with itself. Subtle body means the body, mind comprising of, the body comprising of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So death also is not complete death. We have got two kinds of bodies, right? Thul body, gross body, made of Panchatattva, fire, ether, water, air, and earth. And the subtle body is comprising of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So when we are leaving, we are not leaving the subtle body, we are simply leaving the gross body. The subtle body still is there. Subtle body thrives, and not only thrives, it pulls us from the previous deserted cross body to a newer, fresher body, according to our karma. According to our karma, it happens. So when so this is called as homesickness. When people they go to America, they miss India for some time, right? When a student leaves his home and goes to hostel to study in IIT, he misses his home. So similarly, when we are pumped into the newer body, or when we are going to be pumped into the newer body, then we still miss the older body. This is attachment. Uh, attachment. So therefore, in our Hindu Sanatan Sanskriti, there is this rule now that the moment uh, the living entity leaves the body, human being, the body should be immediately burned to उसको तुरंत जो है अंतिम संस्कार जला देना चाहिए. Because the atma is still hovering there only. It is attached. So the body should be immediately burnt, cremated. And then after, so the attachment to body is in this way annulled, but the attachment with family members, it still continues. So they say the atma still has kind of hovers there. And so therefore there is this sanskar called Terhami. For 13th day, uh, for till 13 days, some morning is a सब शोक में रहते हैं after, and on 13th day they all feast. Family members they feast, and some sanskars are there. So the living entity is kind of convinced that they are happy. And second thing is that they are doing feast, so they are least bothered about me. So I should also not be bothered with them, and I should finish my attachment with them. And then so living entity now develops his attachment with now the newer body. This is what has been happening with us since time immemorial. Attachment with one body, then getting detached with same body, and then getting attached to the another body. How? Like a person walking on the ground, he keeps his foot on the ground. जब हम चलते हैं ना, तो when we walk, do we get attached to any path, or we are not attached to the spot where we stepped last. So इस तरह से जो है living entity also steps from one body to another body. So Vasudev ji might be saying, might think you are giving the example, he's still on the same ground, right? So the person who is walking, he's still on the same ground. So this is not a good example, Kamsa may say. So Vasudev ji is using the second example. ऐसा worm on a vegetable leaf, the worm जो होता है, रेशम का कीड़ा देखा है आपने? वो कैसा एक जो है पत्ते को छोड़ के दूसरे पत्ते में जाता है ना खाने के लिए। उसी तरह से जो worm होता है, he goes from one leaf to another leaf the same way, and wherever he goes, he eats the leaf. So in this way, the living entity, he gets a newer body and exploits, using that body, he exploits a nature. Mana shasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Using strotram chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam ghanam evacha. Every life, the living entity, in every life, the living entity gets a body which has a particular set of ears, particular nose, particular set of eyes. Our eyes and dog's eyes are different, na? Our eyes and the eyes of other species, our ears are different. You know, smelling power is nose it is different. My nose is human beings nose. How much can we smell? And there, probably you may be knowing the polar bear on the poles where there is nothing, the food is not available till miles. He can smell the stench from a distance of even miles. मीलों दूर से भी जो है वो अपने जो शिकार की जो है स्मेल सूंघ लेता है, बिकॉज अदरवाइज।
प्रभु सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है।
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so my laptop actually got shut down because there is no power. Let me. Okay. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
What was the last sentence I spoke and you heard from me?
Mm,
Anyways, so yeah, so we
mm,
exploit with with any body we get, we exploit this material nature. We try to fetch, you know, pleasure from this material word, Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Completely oblivious of the fact that death is coming. So how can we be called intelligent when we are oblivious of such an imminent and immanent thing? A student may be studying in college in his class, and he may be a very sharp student, but if he does not know that he is studying because he has to qualify some exams, so that student, his intelligence is doubtable. So Prabhupada is saying this so-called great thinkers or wealthy people or scientists, they do not know, first of all, they are having one definition and another definition on life. Sripal Maharaj used to say, Guru Maharaj, that everyone is talking about life. Where actually, no one knows what life is. How can we talk about something when we don't know about that? What that thing is in the first place? They are saying one thing or another thing. The life is emergent quality of matter, and animals don't have souls. This and that. So in this way, they are actually all caught up in this. But Kamsa, you should understand these things. You should know this death is certain. So um, we cannot check death, but we can definitely do something which kind of takes care of us in the next life. Actually, we should try very hard to come out of this cycle of births and deaths. This is why this human life has been given. We should not think, oh, we cannot complete bhakti in this life. Maybe in next life, Krishna has promised me that we will be born into a devotee family, in a devotee family, and we will resume the devotional service where I left it, where we leave it in the present life. So it's okay. I can relax now. No, that attitude is not sincerity. Sincerity means we should be completely firm and resolute with this idea. This is going to be my last life here on earth in this material world. At least that much endeavor should be there from us, that this is my last life. And so therefore we should, with this sincerity, we should be very seriously and sincerely executing our devotional service, giving actually no excuse actually. Many times the sevas comes to us. First of all, we should consider that we are so fortunate that the seva is coming to us. We are not going to seva. Seva is coming to us. Actually, it should be the other way around. But if seva is coming to us, seva is the real dhan, real wealth of living entity. And still we give excuses. Oh, I am busy. I cannot do that. I am busy. I am busy. Busy, 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 busy. So, obviously, people may be busy, but still, I think complete negation also should not be there. What I'm trying to say that, whenever we are getting seva, we should, even though we might be busy, we should at least never say no, or best we can say is that Maharaji or Prabhuji, I cannot, I'm busy, but I will do my best to make sure that at least some segments of this seva could be accomplished. I may not be, completely committing to 100% of the seva because of this practical situation, but I will definitely do 50%. मतलब सेवा का कुछ अंश तो लेना ही चाहिए ना. अगर हम सेवा के लिए ही सेवा अगर हमारे पास आई है, उसको तुरंत ऐसे मना कर देंगे कि नहीं हम बिजी हैं, तो एक्चुअली इट इज ग्रेट injustice to our own self, our own fortune. You must understand this. So whenever we are getting seva, we should first of all consider it as our extremely good fortune and try to do something about it. So in this way, you show your sincerity. This is how we show our sincerity, that we are sincere with this fact that this is going to be my last life on this earth, in this material world. Otherwise, like a man walking, stepping, keeping his foot to newer place, or like a worm go jumping from one leaf to another, you also will be hopping from one life to another. So mostly everything else you know. So I think I'll like to stop here, and if anyone has got any question, you can please come forward. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for the class.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, any devotees, please ask questions. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Like before getting the gross body, the subtle body is automatically accepting the another body, right?
Yes. Forced to accept.
So subtle body before leaving the gross body, subtle body, it means that some signatures of the next body could be seen by his behavior. Is it possible?
Yes, we are already spinning our body.
Okay.
That's what Srila Prabhupada said. The basic idea is that the living entity can never be at any moment bereft of any body. This is the idea as long as we are here. We have to have a body. The body is a vehicle using which the living entity traverses in this material nature.
In subtle body, but we can see that if it doesn't have gross body, it has subtle body, so it cannot fulfill his desires, right? What is the purpose of just having subtle body if it cannot interact, something like that?
Yes, that's why gross body is given, right?
Yeah, but sometimes what we can see, like in ghost bodies, like there is a gap, they have subtle body only, so they are bereft of these gross bodies.
For some time, na?
Yes, yes.
Not forever. They are also. That's why you must have heard that how they sometimes possess some other bodies. कुछ कुछ लोगों के शरीर में भूत प्रवेश कर जाते हैं. These things keep happening actually. So in general, people actually, they have to accept a gross body for activities. Even when the Atma goes to impersonal Brahman, there also the Atma is not having any gross body or subtle body. But the Karan Sharir is that the enjoyment spree. So the Atma there also cannot stay forever. He falls down, comes back to this material world. Because how long can you keep Atma deprived of the activities? Activity is a real fun for Atma. So therefore, we should try to go to that loka where activities are performed uninterruptedly, and all those activities are devoted to the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nitya Leela, we say Nitya Leela Pravishta. So, eternal activities. These activities, Navada Bhakti, which we practice here, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam Cha, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Shravana, Kirtana, Smarana, Vandan, पाद सेवनम दास्य रे पूजन सखी जन आत्म निवेदन गोविंद दास अभिलाष रे. This is Navadha Bhakti, 9 limbs. These are, we should practice here. These are not material activities. These are eternal activities, actually. Next question, any other question?
No question, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so we'll wind up now. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हो। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पतित पावन श्रीपाद महाराज की जय। थैंक यू। हरे कृष्ण। हरे Roshan Prabhu, you may end the session now.
Yes, Prabhu.